Like
Yo,
that.
it is time for the main event. It is the Mount Rushmore episode of The Last Word. On tonight, we are charged with creating a Mount Rushmore of all-time game changers in hip-hop. We're not just talking rappers, we're talking culture builders who represents the full package in music, culture, fashion, business, who or what actually changed the direction of hip-hop, not just made hits. The way this thing is going to work on tonight, the Godson and I are on a team, and we're going to round robin draft until we have filled our Mount Rushmores, and then the three of us will choose a final Mount Rushmore. Mr. Hip Hop IQ, you are the guest, so you get to go first. Be prepared to give us a little something to go along with your pick.
I mean, for me, my first pick would have to be Eminem. You know, typical white rapper answer, but Eminem, not just like from his skill, his lyrical ability,
Okay,
but just the fact he was so different when he came out. He had all the credibility of aftermath behind him. He, you know, there had been other white rappers like that, but nobody blew up like Eminem did and took hip hop to a global stage,
man.
where it's hard to deny his impact on hip hop. He'd have to be my number one.
Yo, I'd have to agree, and I gave him a hard time for some of the reasons that you said, but the skill, the talent is undeniable, and I don't know anybody. Well, if you don't like Eminem, you're just a hater.
That's true. And he diverses. He diverses over. I'm not gonna say genres, but over what's generations. That's the word I'm looking
There
for.
you go.
You know what I mean? Like us, we're old. We still listen to him when he just dropped Kill Shot out when he went after MGK. You know what I mean? Back when he came out in the early 2000s, we were, hi, my name is, you know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
and today kids are like, yeah, I rock with Eminem, and these kids are like just now turning 20, 21, and like that's what I see. So Eminem definitely is a great choice for being on, you know what I mean, up there in the Mount Rushmore.
I mean, it's definitely some kids just learning that Eminem don't mind putting somebody in the trunk, is all we're saying. You know what I mean?
Oh.
They're just finding out. You know what I mean?
Not just that, but like the reason I listen to Big L and Tretch and Rakim and a lot of that stuff is from Eminem. Like, I wasn't aware of these guys. They were before my generation, but his respect for these guys made me deep dive and like gave me a greater appreciation for hip hop, because Eminem spoke to the white suburb kid a little bit differently than I was used to being spoke to. So like it opened me up in ways more than Hi, My Name Is.
For sure.
Okay, I feel that.
I love the fact that I've heard Big L's name now twice in 3 weeks, and I just learned who he was 3 weeks ago. So, hey, I don't know what that says, but let's go, Big L. Godson, it's on us. Do you wanna speak first? Do you want me to go ahead and throw it out there on him? How you wanna play it, my man?
I got you. So I'm gonna jump down the list a little bit. I'm not gonna do it in order.
Go ahead, and drop one on him.
So we were talking about, I'm gonna do 106 apart for culture references, because they definitely were before the internet, before songs were all on YouTube and at the thumb, they were there playing them. Oh, this is the top 10. Everybody tuned in for the top 10, no matter what.
Yo, for real though. I know you weren't expecting that. You came out with an artist right away, but 106 in Park is definitely like the gatekeeper of the pre-social media era. I have to give it to you. When you came home from school, you turned on 106 in Park. Everybody gathered around that TV. You wanted to see Freestyle Friday. It was that. And we could have gave it to Yo MTV Raps. We could have said Big Tigger in the basement, but no. 106 in Park is where it's at, and they have to be on the Mount Rushmore. They moved the needle in hip hop.
They definitely did.
No complaints. That was a totally different lane than I thought we were going down here. So now my own list.
The mind is opening up. It doesn't have to just be artists. We're talking about hip hop game changers, not just hit makers. Come on now.
Okay, I like that.
Let's go.
I can't argue with 106 in Park.
All right. Well, it's on you for your second pick.
My second pick, I might go Tupac. It seems like an easy answer, But Tupac, and the reason behind it, not just like a guy who's incredibly versatile, but Tupac and his story from being kind of an activist and also being like club, songs that the girls liked, all that kind of stuff, to the gangster style. But then when Tupac died, he achieved something in hip hop that most like never achieved, where he kind of hit this legacy status.
That's right, legend.
He continued to grow and gain power. So he turned from like a rapper into like Martin Luther King.
A cultural
like he
icon.
Just jumped. And like that kind of an impact in hip hop, no one can mention battle rap or diss records without thinking about Tupac and like how it affected the culture and like the impact that little stuff like beef has on the hip hop game. Like it's hard not to recognize Tupac in that lane.
I completely agree.
That is the coldest way I think I've ever heard. And we've talked about Tupac a lot on here. People will tell you, I got Thug Life right here, the tattoo. I was listening to Tupac, you know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. He legitly, his career, his candle got snuffed out short, but what he put down and what he left a legacy. People today still talk about him. I watch I guess what would you call it? Mixed battles is where they'll take some of these new battles that are these new battle raps we're doing out here and try to hit it with the old school. And every time Pac's up there, he eats up what somebody's saying. And I know what Pac's been saying because I've heard that song 1,000 times. Sure. But no matter what, there's a song out there that will kill somebody if they were just going back to back for bars. Like Pac definitely transcended through generations and generations.
I mean, you talk about him being a generational artist. We talk about being a cultural symbol and icon. But at the same time, I don't want us to forget that he brought emotion into rap. Talking about his mother. Things of that nature. He brought a depth to rap that might not necessarily have been there prior to him. To where we could talk about the streets, we could talk about life, but we can also talk about my mother.
I'm a lyrical guy. Like I respect, like I love Notorious B.I.G. and like lyrically, he was great. Tupac, like he wasn't a lyrical rapper. You know what I mean? I wouldn't consider him in like the top 5 lyrical or anything like that. Okay. But the emotion and the story, he was a great storyteller. He was like a preacher. Like believe me. Like he's just he would bring it. Like, he was just, he did something different.
Let's go. All right, well, that puts the ball back in our court. You have checked one off of our list, so that narrows the field for us. We took 106 in Park with our first pick. I'm going to go ahead and grab Jay-Z with our second. Once again, I could go on and on about his catalog, but the example and blueprint that he built in terms of business and how you turn your brand into your business, I mean, it's just beyond. It's the master class in how to go from the streets to the boardroom, like from going from a questionable entrepreneur to a business tycoon.
I'm a business man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jay-Z was on my list for sure. Like you can't question what he's done, his impact on hip hop, and from a business side, what he's been able to do. Like it's beyond impressive.
For sure. Godson, you got anything for that?
Oh, I got something. It's me, home, baby. Look, Jay-Z's another one. He started early or late 80s, early 90s and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so he was there in the trenches doing this. Like, when not battle rap, but when beef, like you were talking about earlier, real rap beef, when it was just, hey, we going back and forth over these words. He was in that. My opinion, Nas ate him up. All right, I'm not gonna lie. Jay-Z's good. He's got bangers. He's got classics. But Nas ate him up during that time era. But he took it and he showed you how to, you know what? Yeah, I got beat up. I did that. He took it, and now look at him. The man's worth $1 billion, owns part of an NFL team. He's married to one of the hottest girls in the name. You know what I mean? Like, he's done things that other rappers wish they could do, will never see that they could do. You know what I mean? Like, who he says, have you heard the new stuff about him and Drake?
Oh, yeah.
See, you know what I'm talking? Hey, he said
he's taking shots.
He said, you checking out the wrong records. It cost a B to say my name. Man, hey, look, I know I murdered it. I butchered the hell out of it, but he killed that. He murdered that whole thing.
Shout out Jay-Z. You might want to go alone.
People forget that, like, all of the rappers that are doing stuff with, like, R&B artists and all that kind of stuff like Drake does and all that, and even back with like Ja Rule, it was Jay-Z who first started like with Mariah Carey and then Rihanna, and like he kind of bridged that gap that made it really acceptable for these hardcore gangster rappers to like get into that stuff, and now they've doubled or tripled their fan base because all these girls are requesting Umbrella in the club. He did more than just that one lane of like hardcore rap. It's good stuff.
All right. Well, that's our second pick. The ball's back in your court, sir.
All right. One that I don't think you have.
Okay.
And I've got some reasons behind this, but I might put N9ne on there.
The second time we've heard Tech's name in 3 weeks. The second time he's been on the Mount Rushmore in 3 weeks. What's going on out here?
One of the
I told you
N9ne on there, not just because I've listened to the guy for like 25 years, and like lyrically, he's that chopper style that I love.
Yes.
But what N9ne's been able to do is say, hey, it doesn't matter if you have the sound. Like, I make weird, strange music that does not fit into a box. And I'm not going to be a part of this label. I've been rejected by every label out there. So I'm going to be an independent guy, create my own little brand, and bring in all these other weirdos that don't fit. They're also going to be strange music. I'm not going to rob these guys blind. I'm going to allow them to run their business. And he's by far the most successful independent artist in the game. And right now, when people don't need to get like signed anymore, they're not looking for record labels, like N9ne is the gold standard for what every hip hop artist should be doing right now. So he's up there for me.
And that's so, everything that you just said is literally why he made rap. Words have been so hard these last couple of days. I apologize. That is the reason why he made our Mount Rushmore a couple weeks ago, is literally because he, like you said, he did it without a big major label. He did it by himself, the grind. Hey, what's going on? You guys want to do this? Let's get this. He was out there fair shaking, fair playing. Like, he is definitely, like you said, the gold standard, what you should do when you're done out the music game and you're trying to bring up the next generation.
Definitely. Speaking of strange music, we had the Kings on a few weeks ago. And of course, we talked about that collaboration. Don't take the bait, man. Give us a little bit of the backstory behind how that came about.
You know, I was just working with Joey Cool from Strange Music on a collab we did together, and it worked out really good.
Yeah.
And that opened a few doors where I learned I didn't really know who Unconventional Kings were until I got more exposure to Strange Music. And I was like, oh, these guys are doing like a rock rap kind of thing, similar to me. And the more I started to listen to them, I'm like, oh, these guys are the real deal. Like, they've got a real guitar player. They've got this guy who can like chop it up lyrically. And I just kind of fell into a rabbit hole, reached out to these guys, and I'm like, dude, we got to do something together. Like, I feels like we're doing the same thing. We're just not knowing that we're in the same, I guess, room together. So we might as well just jump on. And the track turned out great. Like, they ran with the concept, and we kind of put together the instrumental, and it worked really well together.
I love it, man. But before we go to our next pick, I want to run that again. Just let's hear a little bit of it, man. I really do love it. I love how it speaks to the current times and the culture, man. Don't take that, yo.
Don't let them make you hate your neighbor. I'm talking to all of y'all. Unconventional king, hip-hop IQ, don't take the bait. If I let them bait me, there would've never been no UK. No low-key or high depth to impress upon you this new way. Opposing hatred in a rude way, spring bending the wounds that you say they never be healed. Would you stay and help us build up a new way? Stand tall, but we are above none. If you with us, we rockin' till we all one. Disrespect to one means we all come. We ain't them, so we leave with all love.
Out of your face right now. So in the seeds of hate, don't lie down, fight now. Cause love is the way. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Look out, light in your face right now. So in the seeds of hate, don't lie down, fight now. Cause love is the way. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Look out, light in your face right now. So in the seeds of hate, don't lie down, fight now. Cause love is the way. Don't take the bait. Don't take.
Yo, man, you're going to have to go to Spotify or wherever you listen to your music to hear the rest of that one. But an amazing track, collaboration with the Unconventional Kings, motherfucker! Yo, and Hip Hop IQ. Let's get back to business. So,
before we do that, my bad, because I just squirreled when you said it's Spotify. So, Mr. Hip Hop IQ, I want you to feel privileged, because you made it into my top 5 on my Spotify artists that I listen to.
Hey,
all right, now, mind you, I've only searched you. It was you, our guy JB, Unconventional Kings, and I think there's one more. I don't remember his name, but you're definitely in the top 5.
I like it.
You only
I know.
4.
I can't remember the other guy's name.
Yo, I'm not big in Spotify either, but I'm trying to get more and more into it, right? Generationally, we was like, okay, YouTube. There was that other thing that I think started with a P. I can't remember what it was called. Pandora, maybe?
I can't say that. I still listen to Pandora. Pandora, I'll be rocking with. I got the app. Click. It's got the thumbs up section. I rocks with. But I feel like my Spotify is going to be more structured. There we go. Let's use that bigger word towards more of the independent people, because that's what I want to hear. I'm tired of hearing. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of indie on the Pandora, a lot of, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I want to hear more of the hometown of where people are. Like when I tell you, when I go out on an adventure somewhere in a different state, I don't want to do what the tourists do. I want to do what the hometown people do. That's what I want to kick it with. So that's the music I want to listen to. You know what I mean? And so I want to give you your flowers right there. And you're in the top 5 and you'll be cemented in there at all times.
I appreciate that. Top 5 spot, me and Jada Kiss, we'll take it.
Let's go. So before we get into that next pick, though, I want to give you an opportunity to go ahead and shout out where folks can find the music.
Yeah, I mean, if you search Hip Hop IQ, any streaming platform, obviously, Spotify, Apple Music, all that. But then, of course, TikTok, Instagram, Hip Hop IQ. I'm pretty easy to find. Any dork you see in a backwards hat and glasses, that's usually.
Hey, he says dork as he's got 10-inch traps sitting up here like, good. You just look like you lift 1,000 pounds like this for just nothing.
Yo, and I saved you the time from having to type all that in. If you just check the description, you'll find all the links you're looking for. Let's get up into it. Godson, it's time for our third pick. It's on you, sir.
Okay, so just to recap.
Okay.
Who we got so far in the ballpark, who we're going to get in there. We got Eminem, Tupac, N9ne, Jay-Z, and 106 & Park for Culture. Okay. We definitely have a lot of rap artists, rap greats up there, which is great, and a staple of music.
Sure.
But I don't think y'all are ready for this. Clothing was just as big of a part in hip hop culture than anything.
Okay.
All right. Like you said, you want to go from FUBU, Tommy Hilfiger, Adidas. Adidas kicked it off. Run DMC.
They fumbled big time. Adidas fumbled big time, boy.
Oh, they definitely did. And we talked about this earlier. Nike wouldn't be Nike without Mike. The Jordans are what made Mike. Everybody wanted the Jordans. Jordans 1s, the 3s, the 4s, the 5 retros, the 6, the 7. Still today, Nike selling that man's shoe today. So I got to put the company of Nike. As much as I don't want to, I know I could probably do like Tommy Hilfiger. Everybody was wearing Tommy, but Nike is a staple.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Let me just say this. This was a point of contention for the Godson and I in terms of Nike, because I think that there may be better suitors for this choice. Rockaware, Fubu,
Carl Kanai
had bigger impacts on the culture. However, the reason why I have to stand with my man's on the Nike pick is because the Jordan brand did become a part of hip hop identity. You cannot deny it. I mean, it really just is what it is. It also, it was bigger than that in the sense that it showed status, right? Levels in hip hop. Are you listening on the headphones with the thing, or you got the noise canceling beat by Dre's? No, I got the Jordan and not the BK Knights. You know what I'm saying? And
sure,
say the BK Knights ever represented hip hop, but I mean, shoe checking is still a thing to this day.
I agree with that. I mean, a clean pair of Jordan 1s, and you can make an outfit out of it. The rest of the clothes don't really matter if you get the shoes right.
You get the shoes, the all blacks, the all whites, anything like so. And I'm not just saying like the Jordan shoe, but like when you got to the ones, you know what I mean? And even some of their joggers, if you were into that, running stuff, I'm not, I'm fat. So we don't do that over here, but and what do you do when you run? You're listening to some type of music, whether it be hip hop, country, metal, Norwegian throat singing, whatever. You're in some Nike cross trainers.
Sure.
The Nike fits, you know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't, I wasn't thinking just to throw this on there. Like, they've been through that. They've changed, I'm not going to say change the game of hip hop.
Air Max was huge.
Air Max, but they definitely were through hip hop when hip hop was hip hopping. Sure. I don't even know if that makes sense when hip hop was hip hopping. I don't know, but
no, it's definitely hip hop to different levels throughout the years.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a great pick.
Okay. Well, ball's back in your court, sir.
I hesitate saying this one, but this might just be my story.
I remind you, it's your final pick.
Because it affected me so much,
okay.
I assume I know my background. I don't know everybody else's.
Sure.
The Source magazine. The Source magazine was like the place that I could go to learn about hip hop. It was before all the internet was accessible.
Come on.
And if it wasn't in the CD store, I would learn it from Source magazine. And people were fighting to get 5 mics at the Source Awards. And that was like a big that was a big deal in hip hop. And
hip hop
hold on, guys. Someone's knocking the fuck off my someone's knocking on the
uh-oh. Not the police ready to kick the dough in. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry about that interruption. But I do have to ask this, because you talk about not knowing everybody's background and culture.
Hold up, are you muted?
Oh, I hope I'm not muted.
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Do I have to put him back on the show for you to hear me? Oh, you still can't hear me? Uh-oh. Hello. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
I'm so sorry about that. So sorry about that. So
can you hear me?
Yes.
I can now. I think when he muted it.
I didn't know that when you muted yourself, it also muted me. Let's not do that again. Speaking of cultural and background, you alluded to the fact not knowing about where everybody was from. You have not been private on social media about yours in terms of being from Salt Lake City, Utah. I've got to know how a white kid in Salt Lake City, Utah was getting a Source magazine. Did you have a subscription?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Talk about it, man.
I mean, when you get exposed to hip hop, it was like a soap opera. I would get into all these stories and about how like this guy's beefing with this guy, and this guy came from a group, but this guy in the group doesn't like the group anymore, so he made a diss track about NWA. And I would like learn about all these things. And then I was just addicted to it. Every time I'd go to the mall, I'd be looking through these magazines at XXL and Source, and I'd learn like, I could subscribe to this and get it all the time. And it just became my interest was hip hop.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question, because if you had a Source magazine, did you also have a Jet magazine with the Beauty of the Week?
I've never even heard of Jet magazine.
What?
What is that?
That's definitely an old culture thing.
It's another cultural magazine of the times, no longer in existence, but was huge on everybody's coffee table, in hip hop culture.
In Sheep Farm, Utah, we must not have got it. I've never heard of it before.
Okay,
Sheep Farm, Utah.
I'm impressed.
I love it. I'm
impressed you had the Source magazine. All right. Hey, so that rounds out your list. You mind giving them all four to us real quick?
Yeah. So I think it was Eminem, Tupac, N9ne, and the Source magazine.
All right. Well, it is our final pick, and I am blessed to have the final say in this thing. And I am going to go with not an artist. I'm going to go with a label, a brand, a movement. I'm going with Def Jam. I think that Def Jam moved the needle in ways that people don't even recognize to this day, whether it is being the label that helped create some of the biggest stars and put out some of the best music, Def Comedy Jam, which introduced comedy into the hip-hop culture. I mean, the fashion wear. I know that Russ can be a little bit toxic in conversation these days, but I got to give it to Def Jam. That's got to round out our final four.
So Def Jam, not Death Row, not No Limit, not Beats by Dre.
No.
Def Jam.
Because I talked about how Jay-Z, helped create the narrative and reality of, your brand is your business. But I really feel like Def Jam kind of created the outline, if you will. If Jay-Z is the blueprint, I got to say Def Jam is certainly the outline. Got some
points. Yeah, I can see that.
What I mean? Like,
yeah.
And not to sell it short either, but it. How do I say this without sounding too like? Ugh. When you were talking about it was the outline for it. Like T.I. said, if Jay's the blueprint, I'm the outline. Meaning, this is what Jay was inspired to do. He did it. He made it better. He transcended it. They were doing breaking ground when it was like, damn, are we really going to make money on this? They were putting out artists who, by today's standards, wouldn't drop but one hit and be gone. You know what I mean? They took a chance on the real thugs, the real streets, what was really going on. You know what NWA was putting down? Def Jam was like, come on, we're going to hold it down with the lawyers and all. You know what I mean? Like, so I agree with you. Like, they helped. I'm not going to say culture or mold the game, but they definitely were there with their hands in the game. Like, let's get them dirty.
Well, and I have to give it to him because there is no secret that I'm a lover of comedy just in general. I mean, and putting Martin Lawrence, in everybody's living rooms, putting Bernie Mac in everybody's living rooms. You know what I'm saying? Like, it moved the needle in a different way, and I love it. Come on, man, I just do. Kid and Play, all the good business. You know what I'm saying? Old school is where it is, and I like that. They moved the needle.
I like that a lot. I don't disagree. Def Jam, they're the ones everybody was chasing, right? Like they had their hand in so many different things, and they did it well. Mm-hmm. Where a lot of these other guys were hot for a minute and then would fall off. So no, I like Def Jam.
All right. Well, we are now tasked with taking the 8 potential candidates that have been selected between the three of us and narrowing this down to a final four. The way this will go is the same way it was previously. We're going to kind of round robin this thing. But be prepared for your choices to be challenged. And I encourage you to do the same, because just because you say something doesn't mean that it has to be or will be the pick.
All right. Well, I'm going to start biased if you guys don't mind. I'm going to start biased.
You're gonna jump the guest.
I'm going to jump I'm sorry. I don't mean to. We normally don't do this. This is the first time. This is outside of protocol, and I feel sorry for this. But I feel like I have to say this one.
Okay.
All right. With what we were talking about with the themes of molding the culture, of longevity, and doing what they've been doing for umpteen decades. All right.
Okay.
I think hands down, just like I said, a biased opinion. I think Tech still need to move to the next round and go ahead and get his face back up there again.
Yo, 2 weeks ago,
I'm not gonna lie.
The king of independent hip hop rap, if you will, you're putting him back on the Mount Rushmore again.
Back up there.
So that cements Tech N9ne.
I already know that you're not going to get any kickback from Hip Hop IQ.
No,
and I understand what the man did. I understand how he maximized what he had, his gifts, his talents. He was not afraid to be unique. I understand all of that. I understand the hand that he continues to reach out to pull other people up with him. He is not stingy. He creates platforms for individuals to display their art. I get that. I just don't know if, when I think about the other 7 candidates, I mean, maybe over Nike. Okay, for sure over Nike. Let's do this if you're okay with it, gentlemen. Let's put him on there because he's the first pick, and I know you both agree, but we may need to reconsider it down the line.
I think I don't, Milk. I'm usually with you, and I understand what you're saying here. I understand this.
I'm trying to make room for the conversation to move forward, and maybe we'll reconsider it down the line. We'll see what other people say.
Okay, listen, we'll put that. You're right. Listen, okay, we'll put it on the back burner. I'll let you keep it warm.
There we
go. But I'm just telling you now. My biased opinion is stuck in this because the man. It's not just he transcended what independent hip hop was. No, let's just stick. Let's have this one. Let's just stick right here. And then if after this I can't convince you, then we'll, you know what I mean? We'll say.
Well, I was gonna say you should save it until maybe you need it, because right now he's on there and you don't even need it right now because he's already there.
But what I'm saying is, this is what I think I have to say, and I'm pretty sure if I miss it, hip hop, you can back me up on this. Is he did that? If you look at what he did what Jay did. Jay might have did it on a bigger level with a lot more people. Yes, I'll give Jay that. But he did it the same way with the same amount of people, just not as famous.
Okay.
Imagine if he was Dave. Imagine if he had Beyonce on his head. What if he had Beyonce on his side?
He doesn't, though. He doesn't. And while opinions are full of biases because you can't have one without them, we are going to stick to the facts. And I haven't seen his wife. I'm sure she's beautiful. She ain't Beyonce. But for now, he's on the list. Hip Hop IQ, I defer to you, sir.
Am I allowed to, rather than pushing one onto Mount Rushmore, can I take one of the remaining 7 and scrap them?
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
So I'm thinking, based off of what we have so far, the weakest in the chain would probably be the Source.
Okay.
I don't mind.
I'll one-up you, and I'll say if you throw Source out there, I throw Nike out there, and I say get rid of both of them.
I'm okay with that. When we're talking about their impact in hip hop, if you're talking about impacting global brand, Nike's like top 3 ever, right? As far as hip hop specific, I don't mind losing Nike. I don't mind losing Source.
Yeah. Well, I will say Nike's stock is still down. but they're still a global juggernaut for sure. Okay, so both of them are off the list.
Off the list.
All right, well, I'm going to defer back to you again, though, because while we have knocked two off, we have all three agreed. We have not put one on, and so back to you.
I'm gonna push Eminem onto Mount Rushmore.
Ooh,
for all the reasons I stated before.
Yeah.
But if I also want to take it further, if there were no Eminem, there would be no Limp Bizkit. There would be no Fort Minor, Linkin Park. These subgenres, they kind of took what Eminem broke out and made globally popular and spun it into like a lot more than even just like the gangster rap or you know, popular hip hop and stuff. Eminem's got to be up there.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think he is definitely one of the GOATs if we're just talking about rap for sure. But in terms of hip hop, he certainly moved the cultural needle. And not only did he move the cultural needle, but he expanded the definition of hip hop.
There you go.
Okay, I have a question. I rocks with that. I'm gonna play a little devil advocate right here.
Okay,
I like it.
Do you think that he got all the success because he was white and Dre was behind him pushing him, or because lyrically?
Are you giving me the Larry Bird? He's only good because he's white, and the answer is no. The answer is no. Eminem and Larry Bird are both GOATs in their own right, and their peers will tell you, and that's why. Not because we said so. I always fall back when other greats say you're great, you must be.
And I agree with that, but at the same time, like you can't deny, like there are so many different factors. Eminem being white certainly helped. The fact that he had Dr. Dre behind him for credibility certainly helped. But you know, all the popularity and all the backing in the world isn't going to help you if you come out and do what Vanilla Ice did.
Exactly.
Right? Eminem came out with his Slim Shady. He shocked the hell out of all of us. In his own wild, crazy trailer parkish. Like he had all the pieces that just came out, and that's why Eminem blew up. Not just because he was white, not just because he had Dre, but like there were 50 different things that worked in his favor, and it just blew him up.
Yeah. Any one of them could have crumbled him, but it was the right recipe at the right time. And he was allowed to be unique and didn't have to sound like anybody else.
He did. He was unapologetic for everything he said. Every interview.
So right now we're talking about Tech N9ne and we're talking about Eminem. The floor is finally on me as I get to introduce someone to the Mount Rushmore. I'm going to go ahead and introduce one that needs no explanation. Of course, we've already talked about it before. I know neither one of you will refute it, so it will make the final four, and that is Tupac. I mean, how could I not? We've already made the case for him in terms of cultural impact, in terms of layers, and once again, expanding the definition of hip-hop, what it means to be hip-hop, introducing that emotional layer. I mean, it's Pac, man. What did you say, Prophet?
Yeah. Like, Tupac is more than just a rapper to so many people. Like, who? Yeah. I would say, I mean, I can't take a poll, but if you were to like gauge all of the tattoos that people have of rappers, I bet you Tupac's number one.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody. Look, we like again. It comes back around. Look, hey, it might be 28 years old now, but hey, thug life, baby.
Hey,
I'll never forget. Sorry, go ahead, Milk.
I was just gonna say it's a reason why he could still put people on their feet with a hologram.
Man,
come on, man. Go ahead, Godson. I interrupted you.
No, I was gonna say, look, everybody remembers what song hit them when they heard Tupac for the first time. What put them on? Yeah. Everybody remembers that. Yeah. You remember where you're at, what you were doing, and all that. You know what I mean? To this day, when I hear "Dear Mama," I still tear up a little bit. You know?
Sure.
But California Love, Tupac and Bone Thug, Digital Underground, when nobody knew who he was, when he was just a backup singer doing this. All right, like come on, he wrote some of them songs that Digital Underground sings to this day that are like, it's crazy that this man. Oh, sorry, I'm fanboying out to get over Tupac. I apologize, but yeah, I concur and agree with you.
Yo, all right.
Love
Well,
it.
see, I knew that if I went with someone solid, that there would be no disagreement, and that was my aim for my first pick on our final Mount Rushmore. The Godson again talked about writing as a younger artist. You yourself have alluded to that as well. We talked about it briefly at the onset of the episode, but I was wondering, as I could not find you having talked about anyone you worked with. Over that 20-year span of writing, I wonder if you would give us a peek behind the curtain and let us know what that's been like for you.
So I didn't know how to get a hold of artists. I didn't know how to release songs, even like how to engineer something and mix and master it.
Okay.
All I knew was how to write my own poetry and then, kind of record it on my own little ghetto situation with a MacBook Pro or, something. And so
Yeah, we all
that's what
figured it out.
I did that for 20 years. I would write my own songs. I would record them as best I could, and I'd play them in the car for me and my kids and my wife to listen to, and nobody heard it.
Okay.
So I've got scores of albums and songs and different concepts in all kinds of genres that I've written because I'm a musician. Like I play piano, play guitar, but I never had the courage to actually put anything out literally until a year ago. And I was like, all right, let's figure this out. So a lot of the songs I've written and released lately, some of them are some of my best verses that I wrote 10 years ago that I've been sitting on that I loved. I just never found a way to get it out.
I love that, man.
That's
I really do. You mentioned your family. One thing that really comes across in your content, other than the amazing music that you're blessing us with, but how much of a family man you really are, and the joy that comes from sharing not only your music, but like hip hop culture and history with them.
Yeah. I'm such a nerd about music. We want to share our passions with our kids, whether it's sports or video games or whatever we're into. Like when we have a family, that's kind of what you do, is you share what you're passionate about. And I want to be as authentic as possible, even if I get teased for it because I'm not culturally relevant or I'm not marketable because I'm not hip or whatever. Like, I don't mind being this dorky 40-year-old dad who loves hip hop, and I make music for other people that love hip hop. So as long as I'm kind of true to who I am and I'm not pretending to be something I'm not,
come on,
I don't mind being that guy.
Nice.
I mean, you couldn't be in hip hop because hip hop, more than any other thing, will call bullshit in a heartbeat.
Sure.
You are or you aren't. That's what I'm saying. Like, hip hop is authenticity.
You definitely know if you can put a song, like, granted, everyone has their haters. I tell everybody, if you don't need them, bring them to me. I love haters. I take all applications. I accept everybody. All right.
Sure.
That's what gets me motivated and through. It's them. It's those negative comments. I love reading them. Oh, you're old, you're fat, it's yada, 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 this and that. Come on, keep it coming. This is what I need. This is what motivates me to keep doing it. So the fact that you're still doing it, that you're out here, like you said, your best, some of your best verses you're laying down right now, those are 10 years old and people are thinking they're brand new. You know what I mean? So that's what's going to keep them coming back. If you weren't relevant or saying something that people can relate to, like you said, they definitely going to know. Like we talked about earlier, they're definitely going to call your bullshit on it.
Sure. That part. Well, and all the greats have catalogs. All the greats got vaults of unreleased music, and I'm just glad that you've got 20 years to cherry pick through, and give us, you know what I mean? I hope you have 1,000,000 years left so that we can hear it all, you know what I mean? I do want to ask one more question till we get to the final pick, and I'm going to allow the guests to have that final pick if we can agree on what we've got so far. But the Godson mentioned negativity. And you recently mentioned negativity on one of your reels, and you were toying with the idea as to whether or not folks would be interested in hearing some stories because everybody hasn't said yes. You know what I mean? In terms of
Sure.
putting those putting them bars out there. And so, one, I want to hear more about that concept. And then two, I'm going to ask the big question. Can you give us one here tonight? Kind of launch that series.
It's kind of tough because I do see myself as a positive person. The last thing I want to do is like step into this hip hop industry and then be like, oh, this person ghosted me, or like put somebody on blast, because
Sure.
I'm kind of a guest in this industry. Like I'm new, and I've been blessed that legends like Crooked Eye have taken me under their wing. And you know what I mean? So I do feel really like blessed that I have some people in my corner, and not everybody is going to take a chance on some nobody who, you know, isn't dishing them a bunch of money.
I can imagine how much they get in the inbox, right?
For sure. And that's a part of the game, is knowing that, you know, it is a numbers game. I'm going to go out and put myself out there and get a lot of rejection, and that's fine. The question is, when it comes beyond rejection and you get some rappers that, you know, are really posturing, and they're like, hey, if you want to be on a track with me, like, it's going to be $100,000, and otherwise don't do this. And like, and it comes off kind of disrespectful. It's like, geez, bro, like, I used to love listening to you, and this is how you talk to people? Like, that's wild. So I've toyed with the idea of putting stuff out there. I haven't landed firm on it because I don't know if I want to be that guy.
Sure.
But it's interesting to me. Like,
it certainly is a reality. I am nowhere near as plugged into hip hop as you are. But I have, you know, been in the studio, watched artists, seen how folks work together or don't work together. And it certainly can be a roller coaster at times, but you got to take the good with the bad. And I love that for now you're sticking with the positivity. But hey, if you ever want to, you know, drop some gems, I know that people would love to hear it.
I've got one. I've got one that I give you, and it's not, I wouldn't even say it's a truth bomb or anything, because this guy is actually known throughout the industry for doing this. Okay. But reality sandwich I got was when I got on a track with The Game, got a hold of him, and he was like, yeah, brother, let's do a song together. Here's what I charge for features. And it was like $50,000. And I'm like, dude, I'm not putting money into these features. It's you know, I don't expect to do it for free, but I've got $1,000. Even if you want to give me like an old verse or something, maybe I can make a song out of it. It's just kind of getting my foot in the door. And so he gave me like a really garbage freestyle that he'd used before. I mixed it into an original song, and then to release it, he's like, oh, by the way, to release it and put my stamp of approval, now that I've already cashed your check, it's going to be another $2,000. And it's like, dude, and I knew, I don't know if this is how it works. And I'm like, man, I wish I knew that. And I got on myself like, man, these are pitfalls that you should anticipate. But, you know, now that I've worked with so many artists, like, no, this was a guy who kind of took advantage of someone who was a rookie. Yeah, you realize that it hasn't been that way with everybody. So, you know, it was like, okay, I took a loss on this one. It gave me a little bit of education. Lessons learned. Now I kind of know some things to look for, some words to look out for when I'm talking to artists. And I knew that was going to come because I'm wading into deep waters that I've never navigated before. Sure. So it was sad that The Game taught me that lesson, because I still bump the documentary. Come on, man. You know, but it's like, dude, this guy's a gangster. So I got gangbanged, like whatever.
Yo, man, I appreciate you sharing that story with us, man. It's hard to knock The Game as an artist, but I hate to hear that story. But it is not all that uncommon in the industry. You got to take the good with the bad, like we said. Well, we have some business we need to finish here on tonight, and that is filling this final spot on the Mount Rushmore, if we can agree on this final four. Hip Hop IQ, the floor is yours.
So who we got left?
So we've got, you got the list?
I got the list.
Go ahead.
We got 106 Apart and Jay-Z, because we took off the source. And we took off the source. I was just going back at what we took off real quick.
Okay.
We took off the Source and Nike. Def Jam, 106 and Park, and Jay-Z.
Hard not to give it to Jay-Z. For me, 106 and Park wasn't as relevant as I know it affected a ton of other people. So it's hard for me to lean on that one, even though I understand the significance. But Def Jam and Jay-Z, it's hard to mention one without the other.
Yeah.
I would say Jay-Z. If it were up to me, Jay-Z would be my fourth one.
I think I easily would have made the case for Def Jam, but if we want to talk about the evolution and who took it to the next level, it has to be Jay-Z. Once again, the blueprint for a reason. And I don't think it's advantageous or it would behoove anyone to argue against Hove.
Sure.
Once again, playing devil's advocate. I understand what Jay did for the industry. I understand what Jay did for the culture. I understand what Jay did for the movement of rap. I understand that his just dues are there. But there's nothing like getting off school or doing whatever you're doing and watching 106 apart. You want to know about It's a Hard Knock Life if it wasn't for 106 apart. You want to know about that $1 million video you put out on it. You wouldn't know about him and Pharrell and motherfucking, what is his name? Why am I drawing a blank?
Yo,
anyway.
that's what happens when you start name dropping, bro.
Look, all I'm saying is 106 and Park would be like the Soul Train of that generation.
Okay, let me put this out there because I agree with you. I like the 106 and Park pick. However, I don't think it goes over Jay-Z. And so I think Jay stays. Hove's got to stay. I think Tupac has to stay. I think we all agree on that. Then it comes down to who does it come down to? It comes
Eminem
down
and Tech.
Oh, shit.
Look,
Eminem and Tech.
Look,
are we replacing either one of them with 106 and Park is the question here on tonight. While I love the pick.
Look, I think we should definitely stick with the 106 and Jay. I understand listen, I'm with Jay being.
Why you keep trying to attack Jay?
There's nothing wrong, but like I'm saying, would Jay be as big as he was without 106 apart?
I want to hear some perspective. Yeah, he would. He probably was the least frequented on there because he's Hove. But I want to hear some perspective from Hip Hop IQ. What are you thinking, man?
If you were to blanket ask every rap fan in the world, past and present, what's impacted you and your understanding of hip hop more, 106 and Park or Jay-Z? It's Jay-Z by a landslide in my mind. Just everyone knows Jay-Z. He's stood the test of time. 106 and Park was very important
to a generation,
time,
but not generate. It doesn't cross generation,
right? And it definitely launched a ton of stuff. Like you that's like saying like NWA is more culturally, important than Dr. Dre, because there would be no Dr. Dre if there weren't NWA, which is true. But I think Dr. Dre is way beyond what NWA ever did.
Far
right?
beyond, yeah.
100%.
That's what I would think. Jay-Z is the guy.
I agree. I'm still with Hope. So unless we're making a case against Eminem,
I concede. I can see this point. I can see this.
You did get Tech. You did get Tech. Is all I'm saying. Well, you both got Tech.
All I'm saying is, you are right. Jay is what Santa Claus to Christmas to the industry. Jay's been doing this just as long. You know what I mean? His name is just irrelevant. 106 Park's not around, so it's just some generations. Jay is generations and then some. You know what I mean? So
what you mean?
I can't take his flowers away from him. I can see at this point Jay up there on the wall.
I love that in you, bro. I love that in you.
Dude, now I feel terrible. I feel like I'm attacking Godson right now. Nothing but love.
Oh, it's okay. Get in his ass.
I thought you were supposed to be nice.
I mean, the two of y'all the Caps and the Tech Nine. We could at least have Jay. Come on, man.
Look, I get it, but in all rights, Tech Nine did the same thing Jay did.
But
Tech
on
Nine
a
is
smaller
got
scale. If I take Tech Nine and Jay-Z into the boardroom or whoever, they going with Jay-Z, my guy.
100%. Only because Jay-Z.
If I take them into the Shark Tank, you know what I'm saying? They all went in on it. Jay-Z.
Yeah, only because Jay-Z transcended. He stepped out of. Look, I'll tell you this. He did what every young drug dealer wanted to do. He got in the game. He started selling drugs. He figured out what his talent was to get out. He got out. He used his drug money to help him get out. He got out. He made rap money, made the rap money, made the business get billions of dollars and bought a team. He did what every young drug dealer wants to do and dream of. I'm not going to lie.
We skated around that all episode and leave it to the godson to call a spade a spade.
Well, I'm going to say he did. It is what it is. The truth, though. He started out in the Darbies.
When they put him on $100 bill, he's going to have a suit on. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so this final Mount Rushmore, I have to ask, are we in agreement then? We have Eminem, we have Tech, we have Pac, and we have Jay. Are those the biggest game changers in hip-hop history, Mount Rushmore? Is that what we're settling on here tonight?
I'm 100% fine with that. I think that's a nice little Mount Rushmore.
I like that list.